Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your news edition. These are the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, receives the Rector of Jama' Algérie, Mohamed Al-Mamoun Al-Qasimi Al-Hassini. The President of the Republic affirms that Algeria covers more than 80% of the national market medication needs with local products and highlights the importance of reinforcing the pharmaceutical industry in Africa during his speech to the participants in the African Ministerial Conference on Local Drug Production and Health Technologies. The Army General Saïd Tengriham, Minister Delegate to the Ministry of National Defense, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, receives Dmitry Shugaev, Director of the Federal Service for Military Technical Cooperation of the Russian Federation. At the end of this edition, we're taking you to Budapest, where female sports journalists from various countries gathered for a unique training organized by the Hungarian Association of Sports Journalists. Welcome back. The President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, received the Rector of Jama' Algérie, Mohamed Al-Mamoun Al-Qasimi Al-Hassini. After the audience, the Rector of Jama' Algérie, Mohamed Al-Mamoun Al-Qasimi Al-Hassini, affirmed that he informed the President of the Republic of the achievements made at the mosque through its institutions. We'll listen.
This evening, I had the pleasure of being received by the President of the Republic. During this blessed meeting, I presented to him what has been achieved by the grace of God within the Great Mosque of Algiers through its institutions and bodies. I also explained to him the message of the Great Mosque of Algiers, a message of accomplishment that aligns with the vision expressed by the President on the day of its inauguration. All these institutions have begun implementing their programs, and some have already started carrying out their planned activities.
The Rector of Jama' Algérie affirmed the collaboration of the mosque with Arab, Islamic and African scientific bodies by welcoming international students in the first promotion of the Higher School of Islamic Science. We'll listen.
The focus now is on cooperation with scientific centers in Arab and Islamic countries, and even more so with African countries, as we prepare, with the permission of God, to welcome international students and the first cohort that will join the National Higher School of Islamic Sciences, Dar al-Quran, which will, God willing, soon open its doors to these students. We therefore ask God to grant us continued success and lasting righteousness, and that this mosque may remain as expressed by the President and as hoped by the Algerian people today and in the future, a stronghold of unified religious reference.
Under the high aegis of the President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, Prime Minister Sifir Lieb opened the African Ministerial Conference on Local Drug Production and Health Technologies, highlighting Algeria's role at the heart of Africa's health strategy. The event served as a platform to promote stronger pharmaceutical industries, foster continental self-sufficiency, and encourage African nations to reduce dependence on imported medicines. Melissa Dila Balaman.
Held under the theme of a stronger, integrated Africa through a local pharmaceutical industry, the event gathered government officials, international institutions, the African Diplomatic Corps in Algeria, and delegates from more than 15 countries. President Abdelmadjid Tebboune, through a message read by Prime Minister Sifir Lieb, highlighted Algeria's progress and reaffirmed that pharmaceutical production is a strategic priority, with over 80% of national needs now met by local manufacturing. Algeria has made the pharmaceutical industry a national priority to reinforce health security. Since 2020, a dedicated ministry has led major reforms, updated regulations, encouraged investment, and supported companies while boosting research and development. These efforts have raised local drug coverage above 80%, with growing ambitions to export to African markets.
إلى أكثر من 80% مع توجه متزايد نحو التصدير إلى الأسواق الأفريقية.
Working with the World Health Organization, Algeria aims to help strengthen Africa's pharmaceutical industry to secure fair access to medicines.
إن تنظيم هذا
For the first time, ministers, experts, and industry leaders from across Africa are meeting in Algiers to confront a key challenge: producing medicines in Africa. It marks a strategic break from years of dependency, and the message from Algiers is clear. This vulnerability must end. With local production already covering over 80% of its needs, Algeria is urging the continent to do the same.
من الحصول على منتجات صيدلانية آمنة وفعالة.
By hosting this landmark gathering, Algeria positions itself as a driving force for pharmaceutical self-sufficiency across the continent, urging African nations to build stronger local industries and reduce long-standing dependency on external suppliers.
Africa is advancing its pharmaceutical sovereignty with a regional strategy aiming to promote local manufacturing value chains. More than 700 participants, 400 experts, and 15 different ministers gathered at the International Conference Center in Algiers to share their expertise during the three-day event starting this Thursday. Manal Boubagara reporting.
Starting off today and for the upcoming 3 days, many experts, researchers and ministers from 15 different African countries reunite through the African Ministerial Conference on Local Production of Medicines and Other Health Technologies. Through this, Algeria proves once more its undeniable role in capacity building within the continent. This conference is a decisive step forward. Algeria is showcasing its industrial experience to strengthen the continent's pharmaceutical sovereignty. African pharmaceutical sovereignty is not unattainable. Achieving this goal requires close coordination between state and the revitalization of regional cooperation mechanisms in Switzerland with the WHO organization and the creation of continental pharmaceutical production centers. Several researchers attest to Algeria's leading role in research that remains a very big part in achieving industrial development with a continental value chain in local manufacturing of the pharmaceutical products.
Algeria is doing what we have always wanted the other African Union member states to do, because it's invested in the local manufacturing industry and producing more than 80% of the products consumed in Algeria are actually manufactured in Algeria.
We hope and we look forward to working with Algeria and other countries in Africa to see how we can develop the ecosystem for research, knowledge generation and knowledge transfer in order to improve the health of people in Africa.
We are more than happy to be here because Algeria means the top in terms of development as well as production of medicines.
We reach out to all the African countries that are currently behind in establishing local production, giving them the autonomy to manufacture their own products. With 1/3 of pharmaceutical production facilities based in Algeria, it was only logical for the World Health Organization to choose our country in order to host such a pivotal event. During these 3 days, many conversations and bilateral meetings, as well as discussions among experts, will be taking place regarding health security, all within the framework of achieving African pharmaceutical sovereignty.
On the sideline of the conference, the pharmaceutical production fair started at the exhibition palace under the supervision of the Minister of Pharmaceutical Production, the Minister of Health, and the African Ministerial Delegation. The Army General Said Chengriha, Minister Delegate to the Ministry of National Defense, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, received an audience at the headquarters of the General Staff, Dmitry Shugaev, Director of the Federal Service for Military Technical Cooperation of the Russian Federation. The meeting was attended by chiefs of departments and central directors from the Ministry of National Defense and from the People's National Army General Staff, the ambassador of the Russian Federation to Algeria, and members of the Russian delegation. During this meeting, both sides held discussions on the state of military and technical cooperation between the two countries and discussed issues of common interest. Under the auspices of senior military and diplomatic officials, representatives from the North African Regional Capacity NARC member countries met to review the organization's 2025 activities and reinforce regional coordination. Mary Salila Balaman.
Present during this meeting, Major General bin Bisha Mohammed Saleh, Secretary General to the Minister of National Defense, representing the Minister of National Defense, Major General Hasnat Bilqasim, Head of the Employment and Preparation Department at the General Staff of the People's National Army, representing the Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, alongside the representative from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the National Community Abroad and African Affairs, representatives of the Defense Ministers and Chiefs of Staff from the North African Regional Capacity member countries were in attendance, along with Mr. Ahmed Hamid Al-Tajuri, Executive Secretary of the NARC, and General Mohammed Shibani, head of the planning element of this regional mechanism. The agenda of these meetings focused on evaluating NARC's activities for 2025 and reviewing the means and mechanisms to develop its components, with the aim of strengthening coordination among member countries in the face of threats to regional security and stability. The sessions concluded with the signing of the final report of the 13th meeting of the Council of Defense Ministers and the 14th meeting of the Chiefs of Staff Committee of the member countries of the North African Regional Capacity.
The weight of poverty continues to crush many Moroccan families, struggling with shortages, rising prices and forced displacement from their homes. Basma Farah.
The burden grows heavier as many citizens can no longer bear the cost of the daily life they face. Water scarcity, lack of basic goods, and exorbitant prices when these goods are even available. To this come expropriation and chaotic demolitions. We have nothing, we have nowhere to go. They ordered us early in this morning to leave our homes so they can destroy them. We are poor people with nowhere else to go. Faced with growing anger in the streets, the Makhzen responds with repression without hesitation.
Repression, nothing but repression. Why this? People are doing no harm. These are peaceful demonstrations. Why raise fuel prices and that of goods? If we protest or claim our rights, we end up in prison. What does that mean? It means we are not living in a democracy, but under a dictatorship. We are oppressed, treated unjustly in a Muslim country. They take our homes without compensation and give us nothing else. We have nothing left but God to come to our aid. They are still destroying our homes. I have no choice but to sleep outside.
Across Morocco, the situation is now truly disastrous. The hardship is deep and the resilience of the population is being pushed to its limits.
To Budapest now, where 7 female sports journalists from 4 continents came together for a unique training and exchange program organized by the Hungarian Association of Sports Journalists. Report by Sarah Derbel, taken up by Basma Farah.
For 3 days, the participants met leading figures from the Hungarian Olympic movement, explored the country's sporting ambitions and visited the Puskás Arena, the future host of the 2026 Champions League final. Among them, a representative from Africa, an Algerian journalist, alongside colleagues from Asia, Europe and America, including Colombia, Panama, Taiwan, India, Azerbaijan, Slovakia and Hungary. Through the sessions, the participants multiplied exchanges, deepened dialogues and compared realities across borders. They reflected on the challenges of women's sport, the leadership of female journalists and the ongoing evolution of sports media.
I'm from Colombia, and for me this experience is truly enriching. It's a valuable opportunity to exchange ideas and cultures, to understand what works in our countries and what doesn't, and to learn from each other. I'm very happy to be here and grateful to take part in this global dialogue.
We are here, women sports journalists are here to represent our countries, also to share our experiences.
It is a real pleasure to represent Algeria and Africa at this international gathering in Budapest. This event allowed us to form connections, build friendships, and share both achievements and obstacles faced in this field.
It's our first time we have so many female journalists. I think it's really important to make a connection like this.
In the end, this meeting opens new doors, creates professional opportunities, and strengthens Algeria's presence on the international sports stage.
And with this, we come to the end of our edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Have a good night.